Hello, people. So, got some more news to bring you for One Piece for content we're going to be getting in 2017. Obviously, this information came from the Jump Festa. A couple of articles. One came out earlier today explaining Oda's comments for the content we're going to be getting in 2017, and the second one that came out a couple of hours ago. Um, you can take it with a grain of salt if you want to. It does say it could be fake, but the certain stuff in that article that makes kind of makes me thinking, okay, some of it actually makes sense. According to what Oda said at the Jump Festa, now he didn't attend it himself, but he did have some words to say to the fans of One Piece that attended. Now, it pretty much laid out what we could expect in 2017 in terms of the arcs we're heading into. You actually mentioned a couple of things about an upcoming novel or magazine about a Mera user, either Sabo or Ace. You also mentioned about the One Piece Kabuki. It's going to be happening next year in 2017. It's going to feature the Marineford arc. But obviously, the main topic was the main source of discussion was pretty much the arcs we're going to be going into in the manga in 2017. So we already know we're heading for the WANO arc in 2017, one of the most anticipated arcs in One Piece by far. The second thing we know is we're past the halfway mark in Whole Cake Island, and that's going to be getting a continuation in next year, and that's going to be getting resolved pretty soon as well. But according to what Oda says, we're also going to be heading for the Reverie now. In this article I checked out, and I've got to give a shout out to One Piece Podcast for putting this on their website, so I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can check that out. However, at the time, it does not say the Reverie arc. However, in this latest article that came out well over an hour ago, it's confirmed to be an arc. But the way it's been laid out, it looks like it's not going to be a very long one. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Reverie is, if you're having a hard time remembering, it's pretty much the One Piece version of the One Piece version of the EU, where each of the world leaders attend. In this case, it's each of the kingdoms of the One Piece world which attend, which is held every 3 years at Marajoa at the Holy Land. So that's going to give us a chance to see not only Akainu Fleet Admiral Haikainu, but also the Gorosei, maybe even the Tenryubito at some point, because the Celestial Dragons, they have to play a role in this. Plus, we know at least 4 of the kingdoms are going to be attending. Elizabello's one of them. Plus, he's part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, so he can provide a huge source of information for the Straw Hats. Plus, you have Vivi on the way. We saw the ship. Her and her subordinates are heading towards the Reverie now. We know that King Riku and Rebecca are attending it. So, because actually we first got word of it on the final chapter of Dressrosa, or at least on the final panel of Dressrosa. We also know that Shirahoshi and King Nechu from Fisherman Island are attending. Now, this could play a huge role as well, because remember, Shirahoshi is pretty much an ancient weapon for Poseidon. So, if the Marines get word of this, and remember, I happen to think that Oda is going to use this Reverie arc as a way of setting up a monstrous arc in the future. Remember, we're all currently in the versus 4 Emperors arc as well. So, you can bet your bottom dollar Oda's going to take this opportunity to not only introduce us to new kingdoms we haven't seen yet, but also maybe get to see one of the 4 Yonko, either Shanks or Blackbeard. And the reason why I think this is a number of different reasons. Now, number one, when it comes to meetings, it doesn't happen every day. It happens like once every 3 years in the One Piece world. So Oda's going to take this opportunity to make the most out of it. Now, according to what the first article that came out earlier today was very, very vague. It doesn't specify it's going to be an arc. But according to what this other article says now, it has the potential to be a fake, so you can make your assumptions if you want to. But the way it looks like it's going to be laid out, it looks like it's going to be 10 chapters or more. It makes sense because for Oda to juggle 3 huge, enormous, simultaneous arcs in 2017, there's going to be a tall order. He could do it, but without having to shift back and forth, how do you differentiate one from the other? Because remember, you still have the continuation of the whole game. We are 50% done, past the halfway mark, and by the time we get done with Whole Cake Island arc, that is going to be at least 50 chapters plus. So then we have the WANO arc. We don't know when that's going to start either. We know it's going to happen in 2017. So that's going to be the giant of 2017 as well. So the Reverie, it looks like it's going to take place in between the end of Whole Cake Island and before the WANO arc begins, and that makes sense. Now, I have a couple of things to add to this, but one of the comments it says is we're going to obviously get to see Vivi and the rest. Luffy's befriended in the past, when it comes to the kingdoms at least. We may even get to see the Straw Hats, we don't know yet. I doubt it, considering where we're headed in the story. But I think the reason why this may take center stage in 2017 is for two reasons. One, I think we're going to get mention of the one of the rogue poneglyphs. We have to, because at some point it has to tie in with the story. Yes, it's important for the world building of One Piece, but it also has to make sense for the story in the setup of the final battle in the story of One Piece. So that has to happen at some point. So why not have it happen in this arc? But the way this article suggests is like, okay, so we have the gathering, we have all the Gorosei, we have Fleet Admiral Akainu, but then, according to what this says, we get an appearance from Monkey D. Dragon. He invades the Reverie. Now, a lot of people said that may happen anyway, but it's still not confirmed from Oda. But that's what this article suggests. Now, it does make sense for a number of reasons. One, remember, the last we heard from the revolutionaries, Blackbeard and the Blackbeard pirates came to town. The revolutionaries ditched, but Baltigo was in ruins, and their base, the HQ, was pretty much decimated by Blackbeard, and what we understand, the Marines joined them as well. So Blackbeard could have been like Al Qaeda or somebody high up in the Marines. Remember, Burgess had the fever to lead the Blackbeard pirates. So as Blackbeard is as cunning as they come, he could have been like Al Qaeda. We know where the base is at. So if you want to tag along, we come to some sort of arrangement now. When we got this news in the newspaper, when Luffy finally sees his dad for the first time, it says Baltigo in ruins. It doesn't mention anything about the revolutionaries. From what we knew, the Marines came in, and then in came CP0, led by Rob Lucci. The Blackbeard pirates did not want a confrontation with CP0, so they bailed. Now, the CP0 is probably going to be part of that Reverie too for a number of reasons. One, obviously, I think the tenure of it has some role in this, so I won't. And if the revolutionaries are attacking, and we know there's conflict between the CP0 and the Blackbeard and the revolutionaries happening, we know that because at the end of Dressrosa, Rob Lucci and Spandam was ahead of the CP unit, at least CP0, and they were tailing the revolutionaries. So that makes sense too. One, the revolutionaries have a huge beef with the government, and more specifically, Dragon has some sort of hatred, or at least Akainu does, for Monkey D. Dragon. We know that. So that would be an awesome way of setting up a conflict between Akainu and Monkey D. Dragon. And then you would have the CP0 show up, but I happen to think, because this may involve a Yonko, I happen to get the feeling that Blackbeard may get involved. Remember, we still have to build up on the revolutionary arc as well. So why not have that as a catalyst to set up that arc and a conflict between Marshall D. Teach and Monkey D. Dragon? Why not have a conflict or a confrontation happen at the Reverie? That would be awesome, and involve Fleet Admiral Al Qaeda as well. So that's the only reason it could happen, and I could be jumping way ahead, but the way that it looks like now, it looks like the revolutionaries are going to invade the Reverie meetings. That would make sense, because remember, when it comes to meetings, at least in Shonen, like I said, it doesn't usually go as planned. There's always some sort of disruption, so I doubt this is going to be any different. In the meantime, Oda's going to take this opportunity to introduce us to new kingdoms we haven't seen yet, which is good, because the more we learn about that, the more we learn about the Will of D. And I also get the feeling we may get to learn the whereabouts of the fourth and final royal poneglyph. Remember, it has to tie into the story of the overall story of One Piece. We don't know anything about the location of the final royal poneglyph. Luffy and the others have to get to that no matter what. And if Elizabeth has attended, he could be provided as a source of information for Luffy. Remember,
actually, there's one incident that kind of supports this theory. Is go back to the episode, or at least the chapter where we see the revolutionaries in Baltigo, and Koala's talking with Dragon about the liquor they found in Dressrosa. However, because of the shit gone down with Doflamingo being taken down, Monkey D. Dragon tells Quad to summon all the commanders of the Revolutionary Army to one. So maybe they're going to gather the commanders and show up at a certain area. And what if they are going to do it? What better time to do it than at the Reverie? Now, earlier I mentioned how Oda may take this opportunity to get us introduced to characters we've already seen in this series, and I'm not just referring to the royal characters we've seen like Vivi, Rebecca, and Shirahoshi. I'm talking about like former admirals, current admirals we haven't seen yet. Now, for instance, we have to get introduced to Green Bull because if this is a major deal with all, it's going to involve the government, so that it's going to involve the Marines. And if Akainu is there, I wouldn't be surprised if Kizaru showed up, and also Green Bull gets introduced. So what better way to do it than them? And the only exception is I don't know where Fujitora lies in with this, because the last we heard, even though Jack tried to get back Doflamingo, he obviously took it out, he failed. But the last we heard, Fujitora's he didn't want to apologize to Akainu, so he decided to circle around. But he may also show up at this Reverie as well, and if the revolutionaries are there, there may be a rematch between Sabo and Fujitora. That's a possibility as well. Now, if the Blackbeard pirates show up, Aokiji / Kuzan has to show up as well, because he's affiliated with the Blackbeard pirates. We know this. He may become a double agent. Now, I still don't know what that deal is, but like I said, Oda may take this opportunity to get us introduced to characters we've already seen before, that we know where they stand, at least in the story of One Piece.
Each of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet has a Reverie card for Luffy, so they can meet up, let's say, at the end of WANO, when all that business is wrapped up. When if Luffy takes down Kaido, that has to tie into the story as well, because then you still have the final battle on Rattle to go through. So there's a lot you have to juggle with throughout 2017 in order to make this work. Now, according to what, like I said, this article says it's going to be 10 chapters. That makes sense for another reason. One, if it's anything longer than that, how do you put the Reverie arc, the Whole Cake Island arc, you put the finishing touches to the Whole Cake Island arc, then you go to the Reverie deal where it becomes a 20 chapter arc. How is he going to tie that in with WANO after that? It's going to happen at least late next year, if that's the case. So I don't think I think it's going to be a setup arc for the revolutionary arc that we have coming along the way at some point. So, but those are just my thoughts. Like I said, you can check these articles if you want to. Make of it what you will, but it all leads to more hype for 2017 when it comes to manga content. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think the revolutionaries are going to invade the Reverie? We know it's going to become an arc now. It looks like it could be 10 chapters or more, so we'll have to wait and see. But that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you did, appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and comment down below with your thoughts. Catch you guys later. Bye.